Okay, welcome to the weekend blog, which I promise you is going to be done almost every day now, but this is the weekend blog here at AskDrManny.com. And what I want to do in this quick blog is to kind of talk about everything that went on this week and all the health stories that you saw. We started with the blog this week talking about meningitis, and just yesterday, Friday, here in New York, there was another death of a small child that died from meningitis. So again, focusing on the importance of recognizing meningitis, which is inflammation of the covering of the brain, and small children could be very deadly, and talk to your pediatrician about possible vaccination. The other story that hit yesterday, which I thought was fascinating, had a lot to do with the Botox being now there's an overutilization of Botox by many specialties for many things outside of cosmetic procedures. And just yesterday, the FDA came out with a warning that said that if the Botox injection ends up in parts of the body by either inappropriate injections, it could lead to respiratory failure. And we saw a couple of incidents where children have died. These are kids that were getting Botox because they had muscle spasm because of cerebral palsy. But it points out to that any medication could be quite deadly. And of course, brings us to the reminder that we got the final report on the autopsy of Heath Ledger, and of course, what was found was a lot of prescription drugs, which ultimately led to his demise. And again, being very careful about over prescribing yourself, whether it's with sleeping medications or painkillers. But what was interesting about this week is that a lot of the stories that we talked about had a lot to do with sex. And God, if there was ever a clicker in the internet, that was sex. Everything had to do how to improve your sex drive, how to have a better relationship with your spouse. I reported on a story, or at least made a comment on a story that talked about that if you had intercourse at least 21 times a month, you had a significant reduction in heart disease and blood pressure problems and so on and so forth. And a lot of you kind of talked about it and read and tried at least to get the story on the internet. One interesting person that I did interview was the author Ian Kerner. Ian Kerner wrote a book called Sex Detox. And he came and he talked to me about, this is a book that he says, in just 30 days, you'll experience love, sex, and intimacy as you never imagined it before. And it had to do a lot with the problems with couples, and especially in different portions of their life, that they need to rekindle their love and, of course, their sex drive. And many factors, according to him, and some which are well known, have to do with physical health. Remember, for men, one of the biggest ticket items to improve your sex life is your cardiovascular health. In other words, if you have high cholesterol, if you have diabetes, if you have poor circulation, ultimately that destroys the sex drive, and of course it increases erectile dysfunction in men. For women, it's a little bit more complex because it has also not only to do with the physical state of the individual, but also has to do with the whole emotional, psychological state that you happen to find yourself in. And for that, of course, we had our columnist, Yvonne Fulbright, who is a sex expert, and she wrote a very interesting story, 10 issues affecting orgasm, which, of course, you can pick up online. But everything this week had a lot to do with improving your sex life. And it seems that, it's one of these things that a lot of folks want to talk about. So we're going to be blogging a lot about how to improve your sex drive. Hopefully tomorrow, not tomorrow, Monday, because tomorrow is Sunday. I want to rest. But Monday, I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about those 10 issues that affects orgasm in women. And we'll give you some tips on how to improve your sex life and how to keep yourself healthy, which ultimately is, at the end of the day, the big enchilada when it comes to sex life. So, enjoy your weekend. I'm Dr. Manny. Don't forget to watch our stories in AskDrManny.com. So, I'll see you soon and keep it healthy. You got it.